Hi guys, and welcome back to Simply Forex, the channel dedicated to you, the trader. We want you to be successful in the markets. So guys, I'm going to give you some gold every day. I'm going to let you know which currency pairs I'm looking to trade and which direction. And I'm also going to let you know which news that you must be aware of. So let's take a look at the chart and what I'm potentially going to trade today. Good morning, traders. How are you? It is Thursday. It's Thursday, the 6th of October, to be exact. As always, guys, we're going to look back at yesterday's trades. We're going to look at today's potential trades. And we're also going to look at the important news, as we always do. But also, guys, there's a couple of interesting trades and things I want to show you from yesterday, guys. So I'll also show you that in today's video. Yesterday, guys, we did our live stream, so I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed answering all of your questions, so thank you to everyone who turned up and gave me some questions. All right, I hope you left with a little bit more knowledge than what you started with. Also, guys, we've got a Discord channel now, so you'll see the link in the comments below the vid. Yeah, we're growing a nice community there where loads of people are sharing their ideas. So, yeah, please join our Discord channel as well. Is there anything else I need to say? Oh, yes, there is. There's also our mentorship program. So if you would like to be mentored by me one-to-one, then please drop us an email at hellosimplyforex@gmail.com. All right, guys, so that's all the shout outs. So let's start now with our trades from yesterday, from Wednesday. So the first trade from yesterday, guys, was this. It was the US dollar against the Canadian dollar, okay? And we were trying to short this pair, okay? So price was clearly in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Didn't create a higher high. Remember, guys, this should always set alarm bells ringing. This should tell you that price could potentially be breaking down. And then, sure enough, price comes shooting down, all right, and breaks this last low here, okay? So for me, structure is now in a downtrend on US dollar, Canadian dollar. It's one of the few dollar pairs that this is actually happening. We're seeing a breakdown of structure. Okay, so that's what I was seeing on the day chart. Let's zoom in a little bit. Sorry, I keep showing you all that. I apologize. So, yeah, like I say, we had this structure change, but we also had this box. Yeah, so this box, price was sort of just ranging in this box, didn't know what to do with itself. And then we had this candle form, okay, which broke out of the box, also breaking these lows. Okay, so yeah, there was lots to like about this trade. Yeah, we had a breakout of the box, we had a structure change, we had a bullish red candle. So for all of these reasons, we were just looking for shorts. And yeah, to come from one of our grey zones back down to this blue higher time frame target. Okay, guys, so that was the idea. Let's look on the H1 chart now to see how we could trade this pair. Okay, so we had our three grey zones. Yeah. But let me remove this one because this one just didn't come into play, guys. All right, yeah, price came down, tested these lows, and then just bounced back off. Okay, but this grey zone and this grey zone, as you can see, came into play. All right, so what you could have done, guys, is I entered on this candle. Okay, so price came up. We did have this wick here, but that's not an entry candle for me. But we did get this candle here. All right, so I actually entered on this candle because it was a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. It closed back into our grey zone. So I entered on the close of this candle and put my stop above the entry candle. Okay, All right, and the idea, as always, was just to take it back down to the last H1 lows. But as you can see, yeah, my stop here got taken out. But I'm going to show you how I actually traded this. But for now, let's just trade it as if we had a normal stop loss. Okay, so yeah, if you had entered on this candle, put your stop loss here, you would have got taken out. Yeah, this candle here would have clearly taken out your stop. Your stop's here, you would have been stopped out. Okay, so that would have been unsuccessful. Then price came up, and then we saw this candle, okay, which closed back into our grey zone, but it's also an inside candle, all right? But because of the green candle before it, yeah, I was reluctant to enter on this candle. Okay, it did close back inside our grey zone, but the green bullish candle before it was far more bullish. Okay, and what we ended up with was an inside candle. By an inside candle, I mean this. If you look at the previous candle, this candle is within it. We call this an inside candle. And then with an inside candle, the third candle is the important decision-making candle. And as you can see, this candle breaks out below this candle here, below this red candle. When this breaks, this candle here, yeah, this is how we trade an inside candle. Then this is potentially a good shorting opportunity. Okay, so I wouldn't have traded on this candle, yeah, but the following candle tells me sellers are in control. Okay, what also supports this, guys, is because if you look at the H1, this candle has broken our grey zone, yeah, and we're not interested. But this is where you have to keep your eye on the H4. Okay, so if we go to the H4 chart, as you can see, this grey zone with this wick here, that's what you were seeing on the H1, has closed back within this last high. All right. So on the H4, there has been no break. Yeah, this closed back into the grey zone, and this is a good shorting opportunity. Okay. So if we go back to the H1 chart, so it just to emphasize, it's very important you do keep an eye on the H4 chart as well, guys. Okay. So once we get the inside candle, yeah, with this and this, followed by this bearish candle, and this is also the close of the H4, we can enter on this candle. We can enter here, put our stop above here, okay, and take price down to the grey zone would make sense, okay? This is what I actually did, okay? So, yeah, this would have been your risk, all right? And then this would have been your reward, okay? You would have got a little bit more than a risk to reward of 1:1. Okay, so yeah, nice trade. This one, if you traded with a normal stop loss, would have been a losing trade here. But then our second entry candle, this candle here, proved to be a good entry candle supported by the H4, and it come down and we had a nice trade. Okay, we can close 80% here, yeah, and we can leave 20% to run down to this last H1 low. All right, guys, so one bad trade, one good trade on US dollar, Canadian dollar. I'm going to show you how I traded this in a minute, but those are the entry candles you could have entered. Okay, but let me know how you traded it, guys. Yeah, always interested for you to share your ideas. So leave a comment below the vid. The second trade idea from yesterday was this. It was the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. All right. And we were looking to buy this pair. So price was in an uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Price comes shooting down. But for me, these last lows here, they held. Okay. And then price has reacted from this area. Okay, so for me, structurally, price is still in an uptrend. Okay, if we zoom in now, yeah, we had another box of indecision. We're seeing these everywhere, guys. Okay, we had a box of indecision followed by this candle here that broke this box of indecision. Yeah, this close of this candle just broke this box, and it's a very bullish candle. And then we had this candle as well. Okay, so bullish, bullish, and our higher time frame target was this 10700 level. All right, so the idea was just to come from one of our grey zones back up to this blue line. Okay, for all of those reasons. Remember, your day chart is your why. Why am I longing? Why am I why am I longing? Why am I shorting? Or why am I staying the hell out of the market? So this is why I was buying this market. Okay, and then if we drop down to the H1 chart, because this is always our entry chart, guys. Okay, so again, I'm going to remove this grey zone because this grey zone was for one of these entries. Yeah, come up, retest, move higher. Okay, but as you can see, guys, that didn't happen. Price actually reacted at this zone and come shooting down. All right, so let's just remove this grey zone because it didn't come into play. So, guys, this was my grey zone, and this was another interesting H1, H4 trade. All right, so we had our grey zone mapped out. Price come down. Yeah, we had this candle, guys, but for me, that is not an entry candle. It's just simply not strong enough. It's not a large enough wick. The body of the candle isn't big enough, and it isn't bigger. You know, this red candle is bigger. This red candle is bigger. This red candle is bigger. Okay, so this candle here was not an entry candle. Okay, not strong enough. So then price comes shooting down. All right. Okay, and then we're thinking, okay, we've had a structure break. Yeah, we've come out of this grey zone. All right, and we are off to the downside. Okay, it would be completely fair to think that. All right, but again, this is where we also need to keep an eye on the H4. Okay, so this looks like it's had a break outside of the grey box, and everything is telling you to short this market. Okay, we have not had a candle at this point that tells us we can enter the market. Okay, I didn't have a trade on this pair yesterday. Okay, and then H4, guys, if we look at this, it paints quite a different picture. Yeah, so those H1 candles that were closing out of the grey zone quickly shot back up, and we had a H4 candle that come back up and closed in our grey zone. Okay, so if we look at the H4, the H1 was telling us, right, let's short this, price is breaking down. But what a different picture the H4 gives you. Yeah, this is telling us buy, 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 buy. Sure enough, it comes back up. Okay, so US dollar CAD and Canadian dollar Japanese yen were both a really good example of keeping an eye on the time frames. Yeah, you're trading on the H1, but you must keep an eye on the H4. Yeah, because look at this. This H4 is telling you to buy, whereas the H1 was telling you to short. As it stands, guys, I didn't enter this pair. Okay, yeah, I didn't enter on this candle. I mean, but potentially, guys, you could have entered on this candle. Okay, the H4 had happened by then. This is a very bullish candle. You could have entered here, put your stop below here, and you would have already got your risk to reward of 1:1. Okay, so yeah, that was Canadian dollar Japanese yen, guys. The third trade from yesterday was Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin against the US dollar, and it's really in an interesting position, guys. So we were seeing this. We were seeing price. Yeah, so this zone here is really important. This is proving to be very good support for Bitcoin. And then as you can see, price has tried to push up many times. And then yesterday we had this candle form. Okay, so because of this bearish candle, we were thinking perhaps price could come to this blue line or even this blue line, this higher time frame target. Okay, but on the H1 we had quite specific criteria, guys. So if we go back down to the H1 time frame, what we were looking for was a break of this grey zone. These highs over here have yet to be broken. Okay, so this is the important grey zone for this pair. All right, if we zoom in, yeah, price, yeah, did react quite strongly away from here, but then price has pushed back up to this grey zone. Today could be the day that price breaks through this grey zone. Okay, but obviously yesterday we didn't have a trade because our trade idea is this: for price to push up through this grey zone, retest it, okay, get a bullish reaction, and then we take price higher. All right, guys, so this trade is still on for today as well, really. So we just want to see what happens at this grey zone. If we get a break, a sustained break, yeah, keep an eye on H1 and H4, a retest, then we can take price higher, guys. But yesterday, no trade because, you know, as you can clearly see, this grey zone wasn't broken, and that was part of our criteria to enter. All right, guys, so yeah, those are the 3 trade ideas from yesterday. Let's take a look at today's trades now. Guys, if you enjoyed yesterday's recap, I hope you did. Always such a good learning curve, the recap. Then please subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, guys, and also smash that like button. Help support the channel. Thank you very much. Before I start the trade ideas for today, just a couple of things to mention. Guys, we've got a Discord channel. It's blossoming like a beautiful flower. Lots of people in there sharing ideas, so I suggest you get on board, guys. The link is in the comments below the vid, so come join today. Don't forget our live streams that we do every Wednesday. I want to thank everyone who turned up at the live stream yesterday and asked a question. I enjoyed answering all your questions, and I hope you left with a little bit more knowledge than when you started. Also, guys, one more thing. If you're interested in being mentored by myself, then please send us an email at hellosimplyforex@gmail.com. Okay, enough of that. My editor is happy. Let's carry on. So before I show you the trade ideas for today, guys, I just want to show you a couple of things from yesterday that are, yeah, really important and interesting. So we're going to look at this first. This will be a trade idea, but this is more of a tutorial from yesterday. So Euro Aussie dollar, guys, as you can see, Euro Aussie dollar is at these highs. All right, guys, so it's clearly at these highs. Let me do that with a grey zone. Okay, so price has come up and tested these highs. All right. The problem is it's clearly in an uptrend. Yeah, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Okay, and normally we don't like shorting against an uptrend. All right, but this has obviously seen a real strong area of resistance. Okay, but guys, also if I zoom in a little bit, we had a very bullish candle form. Okay, into this grey zone. Okay, so bear that all in mind. We've got a really bullish candle, but what we can do, once price on the day chart reaches an area of resistance like this, what I am looking for is this. On the H1 chart, and I know this is a good trade for a few people on the Discord channel yesterday. Once price is reaching this grey zone, yeah, we drop down to the H1 chart, and what I want to see if price is going to react at this last daily high, I have to see a breakdown in H1 structure. Okay, if I get that at a daily high or low, then it could be a really good opportunity to enter, and this is exactly what happened with Euro Aussie dollar. Okay, so price has come up, Yeah, yeah, it's hitting our daily resistance. It's still in an uptrend. Yeah, this H1 is still holding. Okay, but then eventually it breaks down. Okay, once this low here is broken, yeah, once these lows are broken, it can be a great selling opportunity. Okay, and as you can see, guys, with this candle here, this was the candle that broke the H1 lows, and this is the candle to enter on. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. All right, so yeah, these lows on the H1, yeah, even takes into account that one, yeah, were eventually broken with this candle here. All right, and then I actually entered, I got a slight retrace. Okay, I actually literally entered here. Okay, I've got a slight retrace. All right, back into these lows. And then as you can see, price just started tumbling down. All right. A few people ask me, where can you put your stop if something like this happens? So good question. You want it above this zone here. But I would put it above this H1 candle, because this H1 candle that I've highlighted is your entry candle. So I think you can put the stop above here. Okay, it's above the moving average 20 as well. But because this candle is your entry candle, yeah, I think put the stop above here, you enter here, and then you can take price down. Okay, and this was a thing of beauty. It was a lovely trade. A few of the guys were talking about it on the Discord channel. Yeah, a few people were seeing this opportunity. But yeah, once things at daily highs or daily lows and H1 breaks down, it's a great opportunity to get in early on a trade. Okay, my target, I know some of you asked me this, but my target is I'm just going to take it back down to this last high here. Okay, so yeah, this last high here, I will just take price back down to here. So I entered here, took price back down to here, closed 80%, okay, and now I'm still in the trade for 20%. So I'll let the 20% run, potentially down to here. All right, guys, but yeah, really nice trade this from yesterday. So I just wanted to show you that because it wasn't a trade idea, but because H1 structure broke down, it became a trade idea. Okay, so that was Euro Aussie dollar. Also, guys, I know I mentioned this in the recap. I'm going to show you how I traded US dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, so So as you know, guys, we were looking for shorts. Price had broken out of this box. Yeah, we had highs, lows, highs, but then price broke down. This candle broke out of the box and also broke these lows. And it's a bearish candle. So we were looking for shorts on US dollar, Canadian dollar. If we go down to the H1 chart now, guys, okay, I had my gray zones mapped out. Okay, and as you can see, let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, guys, we had this entry candle. So this happened at my grey zone. We had an entry candle. Okay, so I entered on this candle. Okay, I entered here. I didn't put a stop here. So let's call this sell 1. Let's call this buy 1. Okay, so you can refer to my tutorial about using buy and sell orders instead of a stop order, and this is basically what I'm showing you here, guys. Okay, if I've got two grey zones like this, then I will often do this strategy. Okay, so we entered our sell. Okay, then as you can see, normally we would have got stopped out with the next green candle, but instead I have entered a buy at the same value as the sell. Okay, so I am holding a loss. Okay, I'm currently holding a loss. I'm in one sell and one buy at the same value. Okay, then price continues up. Okay, And then we get an inside candle followed by this candle. Okay, so I could enter a short here. Okay, and that's exactly what I did. So I entered a short here. So let's call this sell 2. Okay, so because I now have a new entry at my second grey zone, I can now shut this buy order. So if we extend this across, yeah, so this is where I entered the trade. So I've now closed this buy 1 for this amount of profit. Okay, so this is buy 1, but this is now been closed. Okay, so I've taken some profit on the upside with this buy order. I've now closed it because we've had another opportunity to sell. I am now in sell 1 and sell 2. Yeah, I'm in 2 sell orders. Okay, I would now have buy 1 plus 2. Yeah, this would act as my stop, but it's a buy order, not a stop. Okay, so up here I now have a new order, and this is my buy 1 and buy 2. So you have to have the same value of S1 and S2. Okay, but what happens, guys? Price comes back down. So I'm in this sell order, okay, which I then close, yeah, because I've got my risk to reward of 1:1. So sell 2, I close here at 80%. Okay, I am still in sell 1 for 100%. Okay. All right, so I've made some profit to the upside. I've made some profit selling my second sell order. I'm in that for 20%, and I'm still in my sell 1 for 100%. So if price comes shooting back down here, which is our target, then this will be a very profitable trade. Yeah, very profitable. Okay, because you've taken profit to the upside and to the downside. Okay, if you don't want to continue this trade, yeah, once price comes back down to here, let's say, yeah, back down to our grey zone, you could close the entire trade. Okay, if things are telling you I don't like this trade anymore, I want to get out, then you could close the entire trade here, but you would still have made profit. You would have your sell 2 shut up 100%. You would have had a small loss on your sell 1, okay, but this would have been outweighed by your sell 2, and you had profit with your buy 1. Okay, so yeah, I use this strategy a lot, guys. I suggest you look at my tutorial and understand this better, but it's a really good way of managing some drawdown, managing a losing position. All right, if this carries on down, guys, this would be a great profitable trade. So this is how I traded US dollar, Canadian dollar yesterday. All right, guys, quite advanced, admittedly. Okay, guys, so they're the 2 things I just wanted to show you before the trade ideas now. But now let's look at the trade ideas for today, guys. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do it like this. Okay, so trade ideas for Thursday, the 6th of October. We've got four potential trades, guys. So the first one is this. You're going to see deja vu from yesterday. The first one is this, is US dollar, Canadian dollar, guys. Yeah, as you can see, price was in an uptrend. Yeah, higher highs, higher low. Didn't create a higher high. Always tells us that price could be breaking down. Sure enough, price breaks down, breaks this last low. So we are now in a downward structure. We had this red candle a couple of days ago, okay, and then we had this wick reject our grey zone as well. All right, guys, so this trade is still on, and we're looking to take shorts down, back down to these last lows, or even leave some on the trade back down to this 3,400 level. All right, guys, so US dollar, Canadian dollar, we're looking to short this pair. If we look on the H1 chart, our grey zones have been slightly adjusted, guys. Okay, so what we're looking for is two potential things to happen. Remember, your day chart is your why. Why am I longing? Why am I shorting? Why am I staying the hell out of the market? Okay, but once you've decided we're shorting the market, we then go down to the H1 chart, and this is our how. How are we going to trade this short selling view? And this is how. So we've got two grey zones, guys. So price could firstly come up to this grey zone, which corresponds with these last highs and these last highs. Okay, then we want to see a bearish reaction. Okay, we enter the trade. I would take price back down to the last H1 lows. This is always our first target. Close 80% and then leave 20% to run. Okay, this target, or even our higher time frame target. Okay, so we could trade it like that, or what I want to see, guys, is price break out of this grey zone, come back up, retest it, we get a bearish reaction, and then we can take price lower from here. Okay, so US dollar, Canadian dollar, we're looking to short this pair. The next trade idea is this, guys. This is the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. I told you it's deja vu. These were the same trades as yesterday. All right, so price here was still in an uptrend, just higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. This low has just about held. Yeah. Okay, so the structure is still in an uptrend. If I zoom in, remember we had this box of indecision. All right, and then we had a break of this box with this candle. We then had this bullish candle. And then yesterday we saw this wick as well. Okay, which has rejected this box again. Okay, it's rejected this box, closed above it. So I still think we can take price back up to this blue line, this psychological level of 10700. All right, guys, we're looking to buy Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Let's look at the H1 now to see how we can enter this pair. Okay, and as you can see, guys, I've adjusted my grey zones. You should do this every day. Yeah, because H1 price structure is going to change throughout the day. So you want to fine tune your grey zones every day. All right, but what we're seeing is this, guys. I've got two grey zones. Price could come all the way back down to here. I don't expect it to be honest with you, but it could. Then we want to see a bullish reaction. Okay, we can get into the trade. I would close 80% of the trade at this last grey zone here, and then leave 20% to run. Okay, that doesn't happen, guys, and what I think is more likely is price will come back down into this grey zone. It will either test this last H1 high or this H1 low. Okay, then we get a bullish reaction. It could be a candlestick pattern, but just a candle that tells us buyers are in control. We enter the trade, we close price back at these last H1 highs, close 80%, and then leave 20% to run. Okay, guys, so Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, we're looking to buy this pair still. Okay. The third trade idea is this. This is the euro against the Aussie dollar. So I was just showing you this a minute ago. All right. So this is a against trend trade, but price has come up, hit this last area of resistance, and then we've had this negative candle form at this zone. Okay. And we had the H1 structure break that I showed you earlier. So for those reasons, guys, we're looking to come off of these last highs and potentially take it back down to this psychological level of 1,500. Okay. Okay, guys, so that's the idea. Let's look at the H1 so we can plot our grey zones. Let's remove this large grey zone because it's too large, basically. All right, guys, so price is already breaking down. All right, remember, I'm still in this trade for 20%, but what I'm seeing is this. So we've got this grey zone here. Okay, so this is definitely a grey zone, and then all of this is a grey zone. Let's do that again. Okay. So guys, this is what I'm seeing. Because price is already breaking down, guys, I don't expect price to get up to this grey zone. But again, it could. Okay, so if price does, yeah, we can enter here. So if price comes up to this grey zone, yeah, we get a bearish reaction. We can enter the trade, take price back down to this grey zone, would be a good logical level, close 80%, and then leave 20% to run. Okay? If that doesn't happen, guys, because this H1 candle is already breaking down, yeah? So what could happen, guys, we just get a small retrace up into this grey zone. Maybe it tests these lows or these highs. But again, we get into the trade, we wait for a bearish reaction, we can enter the trade, and then we can start taking price lower from this grey zone as well. All right, but Euro Aussie dollar, it is against trend. But yeah, we're liking the look of this trade. Made some nice money yesterday and still making money today. Euro Aussie dollar short. The fourth trade idea, because it's still on, is Bitcoin against the US dollar. So remember, guys, from yesterday, it's all about this grey zone. Okay, so we've had this area of support here where price keeps reacting. Okay, we had this bullish candle a couple of days ago. We also had this wick. Everything's telling me that price wants to break this grey zone. It keeps testing it. Okay, but if we look at the H1, guys, what we have to wait for is a break. Yeah, we need to see. So that's that grey zone you can see. But what we have to wait for is a break of this grey zone, a retest. Okay, we can then wait for a bullish reaction and take price higher. All right, guys, but we have to wait for a break of this grey zone. If we don't get it, we don't trade. Okay, guys, so they're the four trade ideas for today. Let's take a look at the news now. Guys, if you're enjoying this daily morning analysis, I hope you are, then please come join us. Subscribe to the channel, smash that notification button, and also smash the like button, guys. Help support the channel. Thank you. So news for Thursday, the 6th of October. So China are still on holiday. They've been on holiday for weeks. And as you can see, guys, nothing overnight. Yeah, no 3-star ratings. If we carry on down, the first piece of news that we're interested in at 9:30 London GMT, we're looking at construction PMI coming out of the UK. So this 3-star rating really moved any pound pairs. We carry on down, guys. Yeah, the next piece of news is at 12:30 London GMT. We've got the ECB publishing their monetary policy. So from their meeting. All right, so this could really move the euro pair if there's some interesting information come out of this meeting. Okay, an hour later at 1:30 London GMT, we got employment data coming out of the US. So again, this could move any US dollar pair. And then the final piece of news is at 3 o'clock coming out of Canada, and we've got IV PMI. So again, this could move any Canadian dollar pair. All right, guys, but as you can see, that no more news for the rest of the day. So, guys, that's it. That's the end of the vid. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe, like, and share. Have a fantastic trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys.